Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming. Today's topic of, generally we say of discussion. I don't know if today it will be discussion exactly. It's a journey to South India. Generally, many of our presentations here, they have more like philosophical character. I'm not sure if this one will be like that. Let's see, maybe partially. I think it will be a little bit more entertaining. So it will be just like fun, like you are watching some movie. Little Krishna or something. Just wanted to start with a question or maybe a few questions. Hare Krishna. Okay, now our program is really auspicious. He's a very good friend of mine and good brother. Krishna. So, how many of you have been to India? Okay, quite a few. So, how many of you have been to Mayapur? Okay, for the rest you will learn what is Mayapur. How many of you have been to South India?
Mumbai, is it South India?
No, it's in West India.
Yeah, it's more like in the middle of India.
Okay.
So one, okay. So I think it will be very interesting. So then, let's begin our journey. Are you ready?
Yes.
Close your eyes. Imagine that you are traveling in a plane, 14 hours, direct flight, New York, Delhi, and then you are getting off, and then you are catching another flight. In between you have 5-6 hours of waiting, and then you travel another 2.5 hours, and then you reach Calcutta, which is in West Bengal, east part of India. And then you come out of the airport, close your eyes, meditate, and then the heat is just coming into you. Oh, the heat, you are already there, yes? You're feeling it? 110 Fahrenheit. And then you catch a taxi. And now you have to travel only for 5 hours with the taxi. And guess what? The taxi does not have AC. But anyway, somehow you manage. So then we are reaching the holy place known as Mayapur. We will start our journey from there. Then we will have another flights, but that's just for beginning. So now you can open your eyes. You are now in Mayapur, okay? Do you feel it? Not completely. Okay, now we will really go into Mayapur. Hare Krishna. So Mayapur is, as a general, very special holy place because the last incarnation of God appeared there. That was maybe 530 years ago, something like that. It's a really special spiritual place. It's also very special for us, for the practitioners, followers of Krishna consciousness, because in this place we have our headquarters, a very big temple complex, and many schools for training, for education. You can study so many things. You can study philosophy, music, yoga, meditation, so many things. You can just go there and rent a room and live there and study. Spend a few months there. So it's an amazing place to be, to visit. And what you see on this picture is a huge temple just coming up. It's called the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. It will be the biggest Hindu temple in the world, and supposedly should open after 1 year. Let's see. Fortunately, should happen. So it's something very, very special that we will be there. Now, within Mayapur, as we said, so many things are happening, and I want to say a few words, especially for one project, which is Gurukula. Gurukula is like a traditional school. It means like the house of the Guru. Traditionally, the students, they go to the place of the Guru to get their training, education. And in Mayapur, we have few of those schools for kids, at least 3 officially. So this is one of them. It's more traditional school. It's actually meant to help the kids to grow up in a very natural environment and to build a very nice character, very good qualities that actually will help them in their future life. So traditionally they get up very early, around 3 o'clock in the morning, and then meditate, and then they start their school early. They study mantras, different verses, whatever they have to know very early, because early it's very easy to remember actually. And then after that they are cooking for themselves, they cook for themselves, they wash their own clothes, they clean their school. So in this way gradually they are trained to become men, so that they can take care of everything they have to be able to take care in the future in their life. So me and a good friend of mine, Pandava, we had the fortune to help in this project for quite some years. Of course, this project has 2, we could say, what is the word? Like divisions, 2 main divisions. One is dealing mainly with the kids, and one is education for adults. So we were more involved with education for adults, helping for creating different materials and teaching. So a few boys came there as students from South India, and they stayed and they became very serious students. So becoming friends with them, they started telling us so many things about South India. And we were like, wow, it will be nice one day to go and see. And one day they came and they said, actually we figured it out, we'll just bring you there for a trip. We said, what do you mean? We will arrange everything, tickets, cars, because we know all these places, we have been so many times there. We'll just go with you and we'll show you all these places and we'll tell you all the stories, everything that you have to know. And we said, okay, sounds good. So 1 month we went there and we were going through many different places. Now in South India you can visit so many places. We visited certain places not by chance. Actually we were following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the last incarnation of God, at some point he was traveling. Basically he went in a big part of India, but particularly South India he spent maybe around 3-4 years traveling there. So he went to many places, and it is known which places are those. So we wanted to go and especially visit those places. Now they are not in a chronological order. and maybe it will be like that better. So we'll just go through some of them and I'll tell you interesting stories and maybe you'll learn some interesting things. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, then close your eyes, go into the taxi, travel 5 hours from Mayapur to Kolkata, catch your train. Okay, let's do it with a plane. Catch your plane and then we are landing in South India. Let's start from Bangalore. Who knows where is Bangalore? Okay, someone knows. So let's say we are in Bangalore. And from there we will start our trip. And two amazing places that we are going to speak now are known as Brihateshwara is the first one. This is considered the highest temple in India. Now you can open your eyes and you can appear in this place. It's a very famous place actually, very touristic place also, full with people, always big crowds of people. And that's one of the, I would say, really amazingly beautiful temples in South India. Now, why exactly South India? Why not other places of India? Everywhere in India you have very old temples, very old buildings, but in the northern part of India, many of those were destroyed because of the Muslim invasion. Many of them were actually completely destroyed. So we are not able to see many of those. Some are there. And in South India much more. And also in South India they have this idea of when you're building a temple, it's not just anything goes. They have a very particular book that they follow how a temple should be built. So in many of those temples that we are going, actually they were built in a very particular way, you can see. With huge gates when you're entering and a big fences around the temple, and then sometimes you go through few huge gates and few fences in order to reach the actual temple. So it's very interesting. So one temple like that is Sri Rangam. It's actually a whole city. It's a city with 7 gates and 7 fences in order to reach the main temple. And what you just see here in this picture is not the temple. This is one of the gates through which you are passing in order to reach the actual temple. It's a huge place. It's like a small, even maybe like middle-sized town, and it's scientifically built in a sense that different people with different occupations, they live in different places in the city. So kind of people there are living in different places by different mentalities. It's interesting, very interesting place to go and to see. So when we went there, and our friends, they said, okay, tomorrow early in the morning we'll bring you for the first ceremony in the temple. We said, no problem, we are ready for this. So we got up at 4 o'clock, we took fast shower, and we went there to wait. And we were thinking we'll be like maybe the only ones, okay, maybe 10, 15, 20 people. We went there was already a huge queue, maybe like 200, 300, 400 people waiting. 4:30 in the morning. And we were waiting, maybe for half an hour. And then suddenly some commotion started. They opened the door, and all these people, they start running. I never saw people running 4:30 and 5 in the morning. Like, generally people, they don't do that. Like, you're sleeping at that time still. And these people are running, and then when we saw this, we said, okay, must be a reason, so we also run. We also start running. And then we figured it out. When you enter the temple, there are 2 queues. One is the free queue, and the other is the pay queue. So because all these people, they want to go to the free queue, then in order not to wait, you have to really go early. Otherwise, you have to wait for a long time. Now, fortunately, our friends, they had connections. They just paid something, and we were on the paid queue. And we just entered like after 10 minutes. It was very fast. And they gave us a very nice view. They just put us in front and they said, just wait now. And we were waiting. And then one Brahmin came, like a priest, and he sat down just in front of the altar with his veena, string instrument, and he started singing special ragas. These are like very special traditional melodies. And he was doing this maybe for 15-20 minutes. We said, what is that? He said, well, this is the beginning of the auspicious waking up of the Lord. This is for his pleasure. Gradually now they are waking up. Then okay, then at some point he was already awake. And then we heard some commotion again. What's happening now? Then we turned and we saw a cow coming in the temple. And they brought the cow and they just put it in front of the altar. And not just that, after that they brought a horse. That was like, okay, it's getting serious here. And then even more commotion. And then they brought a elephant. Huge elephant, like big as this room. Like huge elephant in the temple, inside. And they just put them one after the other. And now they opened the altar and we asked, so what's the explanation? Was this like a tradition, a ritual, or what is it? They said, no, these are very auspicious animals. When the Lord wakes up in the morning, the first thing he wants to see is something very nice and auspicious. Will create nice mood. Yes? Like when you wake up, you want to see something nice, good news. If you just open your phone, you read something bad, like, oh, your whole day goes. But if it's something nice, the first thing you see, oh, creates very nice mood for the day. So, same for Krishna, same for the Lord. So first they put the cow, and then the horse, and then the elephant, and only then all the people, they entered the altar and they could have the darshan, they could see the Lord and pray and so on and so on. So that was amazing experience to see there. Then other interesting thing in this temple was that we heard that in some of those great temples there are singing pillars. Have you heard about singing pillars? It's a pillar, when you beat on it, it creates actually very beautiful sound. So we asked some of the pujaris and they said, oh yeah, actually we have some of those, like, no problem. And then we went there, but it happened that there was some renovation and they did not allow us to enter, so we couldn't see them. Anyway, what to do? So that's a very special place and many things can be said about it. Maybe one more thing I will mention, and I'll speak later about this great personality, is Ramanujacharya. This is the Acharya of one of the main spiritual schools in India. He lived there very, very big part of his life. He stayed in this place, he was maintaining the place, he was building the place, and so on and so on. So this place, Sri Rangam, is known as the headquarters of Shri Spiritual School, and particularly of this great Acharya, Ramanujacharya. By the way, if someone has a question, you can ask immediately, not to forget. Okay, now we'll travel for a while and we'll go to the west coast in a place known as Udupi. Now, this place is a very interesting place. It's the headquarters of other very famous spiritual school, the Madhva spiritual school, Madhva Sampradaya. And Madhva is another great spiritual personality, great teacher. I will say something more about him a little later. Hare Krishna, welcome. So let's start with little explanation. It's a small town again, Udupi, very rich town though. Maybe every second or third shop I was seeing, it was a shop for silver or gold. So apparently a rich place. In the main temple, every day you can go for lunch or for dinner and have your free meal. They are serving food for maybe around between 2,000 and 3,000 people every lunch and every dinner. And this is like ongoing every day, no stop, no Saturday, no Sunday, no weekends, nothing. So many people know this and they come there to respect this spiritual food that they are serving. It's very simple food, but very tasty and served in a Paka way, very cultured way, very first class way. So now the main deity in this temple is known as Udupi Krishna. It's a very small form of Krishna as a kid, very, very beautiful form. I'll tell you something about the story, how this deity, how this form of God appeared. In this place was living this great Acharya, Madhvacharya. I mentioned about him. So one day Madhvacharya was staying on the shore of the ocean, which is very close. Udupi is on the shore itself. And there was a big ship, like a business ship, you could say, with many valuables. And at some point the ship just stuck in the sand and couldn't move, neither back nor forward. So because these were pious people, they understood somehow we have to ask for the blessings of God. So they went on the shore, and one of the first people they saw was this sadhu, saintly person, Madhvacharya, and they asked him for help. And Madhvacharya came, and now there are different versions of the story. Some people are saying that he told them what to do in order to move the ship. Others are saying he created waves with his hands. He was extremely powerful. And because of this wave, the ship just moved and continued. Others are saying that with his breath, he sucked the ship, and the ship actually started moving. Someone may say it sounds like a miracle. Well, the holy scriptures of India are saying that this personality, Madhvacharya, actually he is manifestation of the demigod who is in charge for the air, Vayu. So, very powerful personality. So for him should not be a big problem to make something like that. So anyway, these people from the ship, they were so happy, they said, whatever you say, it's yours. Because you said all we are bringing, so whatever you desire, you can just come on the ship and take it with you, no problem. He just went on the ship, and he saw there was two big, tilaks. This is like clay stones. They were using them actually to balance the ship. In case they have to balance the ship, they were keeping these two, maybe like this size. So he said, I want these two. They said, really, we have so many precious things like silk and so many other things. Only this? He said, yes, that's enough. He took them, he brought them back on the land, brought them to the city, break them, and inside there were the two beautiful forms of Krishna and his brother Balaram. So Balaram stayed on the shore, and until now he has a temple there, one can go and visit. And Krishna, he was brought to the center of the city, and just in the center of the city a temple was built for him. And until nowadays this deity is there. So very special deity, self-manifested from this stone. Now they say that there was a great saint. He was coming every day to this temple and he was singing for the pleasure of the deity. But because he was considering himself very low by birth, he didn't want to enter the temple, not to contaminate the place or the pujaris, the priests who are doing their service there. So, but he was doing this day after day, day after day, day after day. He was always going behind the temple and singing for the pleasure of the Lord. So one morning, when the pujari entered inside in the temple room, and he saw the deity was turned backwards. And they understood this is something special. And because they knew this person, he is going every day to sing there, they understood. Actually, Krishna, he wanted to turn in the direction to look at his great devotee who is coming every day. So they made a special window so that this person can see from outside the deity every day when he is singing. And this window is still there. One can go, and through this window he can try to see the deity. amazing thing. Now one more thing I wanted to mention about, actually two more things about this place. Very interesting place. One thing is you see this huge chariot. So they were using this chariot to go on a like small circle in the city, and that was happening every night, like a small procession parade, and all the people from the city, they come and they join. And every evening they have like a small Ratha Yatra, you could say. So now, one of the nights, we were there for 2 or 3 nights, one of the nights we went there, and instead of this chariot, there was another, like the smaller one, chariot, but the whole chariot was looking like golden. And I went and I said, this is not gold, this is like something maybe fake, or maybe they just painted it. And then people said, no, that's gold. Oh, no problem. I said, how do they have so much? I said, no problem, this is for Udupi Krishna. For Udupi Krishna everything is possible. So they had this golden chariot to move the deity around. And then we went on a procession. Procession was maybe 40-50 minutes. And then we came back in front of the temple. They took out the deity, brought it to the temple. And then these big pujaris, they just started to try to push the chariot again. But it's very heavy, because this is metal. Maybe it was not the whole metal, but definitely it was a very thick layer metal of gold. So they just asked us to help when we were pushing this chariot. And I was thinking, now we are going to bring it to, I don't know, some kind of like a bank or something like that. And there'll be huge doors and they will close them. And we just went to some kind of like a, I don't know, like a bunker or something like that. They just opened the doors, put the chariot inside and closed the door, and they even don't lock them. And I was like shocked. I mean, you want like someone may, no problem, don't worry. I was like shocked. And actually later, by traveling in South India, we saw that actually people, they are quite rich there. Every lady had at least like maybe 100-200 grams of gold on them, like earrings, all kinds of like, many golden things. That was one thing that we noticed. In the beginning we were thinking it's not gold. Then our friend said, no, it's gold. Here nobody wears anything but gold. And we said, how do you have so much gold? They said, oh, this is why people are working. Like if they know they have a daughter, whole life they are working, when the daughter gets married, they have to buy at least half kilo of gold. Like if she gets married without having at least half kilo of gold on her, that means like they are super poor and it's like unheard. So they have this culture of having gold, investing in gold. And then another very interesting thing was, many of the ladies early in the morning, they walk and they have flowers in their hair. Everywhere they sell flowers, especially made like a small, how to say, like a small chain of flowers. So they just put in their hairs, and let's say if you travel on a rickshaw with the ladies or in the bus, the whole bus smells of flowers, very fragrant flowers. Well, that was something also very nice. So then one day also we went to visit the birthplace of this great personality, Madhvacharya, which is maybe only like 30-40 kilometers from Udupi. And there they were telling us all kinds of amazing stories about him. I would like to mention more, but because of time I cannot, so I'll mention just one here and maybe one more little later. His father was not actually very rich, so he had to take some loan to buy some kind of like cart, like ox cart or something like that. So for some reason he was delayed with paying back the money, and a merchant came to ask his money from the father of the small Madhva. At that time he was 5-6 years old. So he was kind of arguing with his father, and the small Madhva, he was staying inside waiting for his father to come for lunch. So without his father he doesn't want to start his lunch. So at some point he became annoyed why this man is creating troubles to his father. So they had like a small tamarind tree in the courtyard. This tree is still there. And he took few of the, this tree is producing like seeds which are similar to the peas or beans, like this shape. So he took like a bunch of those in his hands and just went to this merchant and said, "Don't disturb my father anymore. Now I'm paying the debt of my father. Take this and go." And this person, he was like, I mean, this is like even not like 100th of what your father have to give me. And the small Madhva, little bit in a army mode, he said, "Just take and go, later you'll see." And out of respect, because they were brahmanas, he said, "Okay, maybe I'll come another day." So he left. When he went at home and he said, "Okay, at least let me cook this, get some protection out of it." So when he opened this, actually inside there were no seeds, there were gemstones. So I actually then figured out, okay, he was serious, he really paid the debt of his father. So that's one interesting story with Madhvacharya. And I'll tell you one more little later. So nice place, Udupi, I recommend. If you go to South India, go to Udupi. Then let's move to another two interesting places, Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram is like a semi-island on the southeast part of India. And there are many interesting places there. First place we are going to visit is Dhanushkoti. Dhanushkoti is an interesting place. Maybe some of you know the story about Ramachandra, Lord Rama. Have you heard? Or shall I say a few words about it? Okay, let me say a few words. So Ramachandra is the Supreme Lord who was present on earth many thousands of years ago. And the story goes, actually this story is described in a book known as Ramayana. So the story goes that a great demon actually kidnapped the wife of Lord Rama. And now Lord Rama, to take back his wife, started on a
journey.
what is the word?
Like a journey?
Well, yeah, more like a mission,
Yeah.
conquest. He wanted to take his wife back and also punish this aggressor, Ravana. So he managed to understand that actually the place where Ravana lives, his capital, is Lanka. Nowadays, Lanka, Sri Lanka. So he reached the most southern part of India, and now there was a big ocean. So he had to cross the ocean somehow. He didn't know what to do. And he said to his soldiers, "Now we're going to build a bridge through the ocean and we will reach Lanka." Now, little later I will tell you how exactly the bridge was built. But just for now, when the bridge was built, they went to Lanka, they conquered the enemy, they took Sita Devi back, his wife. So the next great king of the enemy, that Lord Rama said, "Okay, you'll be the next king." He said, "Now, my dear Lord, that you achieve your goal, please destroy this bridge. Because otherwise my soldiers, they will be going to the continent, to India, and attacking the continent. And also many kings from there will come and create troubles for us. If there is no bridge, for us it will be much more secure, so please do something." Then Lord Rama took his bow, and with the bow just pushed on one place the bridge, and the bridge from this place onwards just collapsed and went under the water. So this is the place, it's called Dhanushkoti. Dhanu means bow, and Koti, one of the meaning is million, thousands, millions, but basically it is the place where Lord Rama with his bow just touched the bridge, and the bridge from this place onwards collapsed and went under the water. So when we were traveling to reach this place, actually we took the rickshaw and we were in the city, and then suddenly the city started, the buildings, they start disappearing, and then suddenly the land starts getting more and more narrow, And at some point it became narrow, maybe like 2 times this road, something like that. And we were on this road. We were traveling maybe for like 10-15 kilometers on this road, inside the ocean. One side you see the ocean, other side you see the ocean, and you are traveling in a road maybe like for 10-15 kilometers inside. So that was really like a bridge. And then apart from this, you can see satellite pictures, and actually you see that you can see that the bridge is actually continuing and is reaching Lanka. You can see this on a picture from the space. So anyway, we went there and it was really interesting experience. You reach at some point and the road is over, but then you see like a very small sand islands from time to time appearing in the water, and they say Lanka is maybe another 10-15 kilometers from there, 20 maybe or something like that. So we were there, and at some point around 5 o'clock the police came and said, start just pushing away the people. We said like, what's your problem? We are tourists, just leave us alone. And they said, if we leave you alone, after 1 hour you'll be dead. We were like, what do you mean, the sharks will come or what? They said, no, the sharks, the ocean will come. After 1 hour, this road won't exist. Everything goes under the water. So you better leave immediately. So we were immediately, okay. We left. That was interesting thing. Then the place where we were staying was just next to this temple. It's known as Sitaram temple. When we reached this place, it was 12 o'clock at night. We reached there, we started dragging our suitcases to go to sleep. Just on the entry door of this temple there was a sadhu, a saintly person, and he was singing a mantra. Which mantra he was singing? Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. It was the mantra he was singing. We said, okay, cool, nice. Then, next day, we got up very early in the morning, around maybe 3-4. We wanted to go to one place. He was there and he was sitting and he was chanting Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Then when we have to leave this place, we had to leave again early. We had to catch some train or something again during the night, maybe 3-4 o'clock. Then this man, he was staying there and he was chanting Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. And during the day, a few times we were going through this place, he was there and he was chanting Sitaram, Sitaram. So I don't know if he's sleeping or eating. I don't know how he's doing it, but all the time I saw him, he was there and he was chanting Sitaram. Somehow he was managing to do it. So in India you can find all these amazing personalities, like really people who are dedicated to their spiritual life, spiritual practice, and they are into it, and they get so much happiness, nourishment from this thing that they are totally fine, totally okay. Okay, so now we are going to something very interesting. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We have some interesting stories. A stone stories. So first story is connected with the bridge that we are talking about. The bridge that Lord Rama built. So the story goes that the army people of Lord Rama, they said, how we are going to build a bridge through the ocean? This is unheard. Like, how can you, I mean, the ocean is deep. So then Lord Rama said, don't worry, take stones, rocks, and write on them my name, and they will flow on the water. And in this way you'll be able to build a bridge. And they started doing this, and they were throwing these big stones, and they were floating. So then we heard that there are temples in this place where you can see still these stones that are floating. So we said, no, that's something we gotta see. I mean, that's why we came all the way here. Okay, it may be not be like 100% correct with some like philosophy point or this or that, but it's really something you want to see. So let's go and see. So we were trying, we said to our friends, please, we have to find this, we have to see. They said, we saw it, but actually the place where we went, this Danoshkoti, the end of this bridge, after a while there is another island, and we said, maybe 5 or 10 years ago we were again here on a spiritual trip, and then they allow us to go with boats to this island, and there is a temple, you can see this. But now the army occupied this island and is not allowing anybody to go there. So we cannot go there, so I'm not sure if we can find another place. So we said, please, please, try. So they were asking different local people, this, that. We were unsuccessful. And we had to go back, and we said, okay, whatever, like, let's be detached. And on the way back, while we are traveling with our rickshaw, and suddenly we see advertisement, a floating stones. We were like, oh, Krishna is helping. So we stopped immediately the rickshaw, and we had to walk for some time. And then we reached some kind of like a small hut. And in this hut there was an old lady. Apparently she was living there, and she was doing her worship puja in this hut. And then on the altar there were a few stones. And we said, so we are interested to see the floating stones. And she said, yeah, these are the floating stones. We said, are you sure? She said, of course. Go on the back courtyard. And then we went there was something like a well. And in the well there were 2 of those stones, and they were floating. And then we said, okay, but it may be something like, I don't know, a business or whatever. So they were looking the same, the stone that I'm carrying here. So then I asked her, okay, we kind of believe, but can I check out if it's heavy or it's like whatever, stereopore, or can I see what it is exactly? And she said, yeah, no problem, take it. So I took it, and it was heavy. It was not heavy, maybe like a granite stone or something like that. But it was a stone, some kind of stone.
That's some.
Yes, that stone. So we found the floating stones. It works. Then I wanted to turn this stone that was floating to see if somewhere is written the name of Rama. I couldn't see. But yeah, it was floating. I have a special video actually, by the way. Maybe another time I can show you this video. And also, while we are on this topic, I mentioned about the singing pillars. So for a long time also we were looking for those singing pillars in different temples. Every temple we were going, we were asking, do we have singing pillars? So, what? Singing pillars? So there, every place we were experimenting. We were going to all the pillars and trying to get some sound out of them. And then, in one place, we found them. Later I will speak about this place. It's called Ahobilam. And we have also a video of this, one of the boys that was with us, Charu Chandra. He's a very special person. Later you will see him. He's actually a tattoo artist, very handsome, and his whole body is in tattoo, so people in India, they love making photos with him. So he was playing like a rock and roll melody on the pillar, and we recorded a video. So they also exist. The floating stones exist, and the singing pillars also exist. Another interesting story is, I was speaking about this great personality, Madhvacharya. So one of the situation was when he was very small. His mom said, you stay at home and you have to keep the milk, because they had cows. So they were putting the milk in a huge pots. And she said, you stay here because otherwise animals will come and they want to eat from the milk. So please, take care. And then he said, okay. And he was staying for 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. And then he said, no, I want to go play. So then he thought about it, and he said, okay, if I find a lead and I put it, animals won't be able to eat the milk. And then I can go and play. So then he found this stone and put it on the top of the pot, and he went to play. So I don't know what was this kind of pot that could have this kind of stone, but a friend of mine who is engineer, he saw this picture from very close. I don't know if I can make it close. But anyway, you see the size of the man and the size of the stone. He looked at it, he said, how thick was the stone? I said, maybe at least that much. He said, that means this stone is between 1 and 2 tons. So I don't know how that kid was able to to move it, but he said this stone definitely is at least 1 or 2 tons, something like that. So he was using it for the lid for the milk. Just my question was what kind of pot was under that, but anyway, maybe iron. At that time they were using many like metal pots. Anyway, so that's about our stone stories. So now I will bring you to other famous place, Kanyakumari, or this is how we know it, the Comorin Peninsula. This is the most southern part of India, really the most southern part. So we went there and we wanted to take a bath there because they said it's very auspicious. We took the bath and then we had to put our clothes back, and it was impossible. There was such a strong wind from the meeting of the two oceans, it was impossible to put your dhoti. We had to move maybe half a mile away to be able to put our dhoti. Such a strong wind. It was an interesting experience. Then after visiting these places, we went to another place which is known as Tirumala Mountain. This is a sacred mountain in South India. It's a long mountain, around maybe 400 kilometers. On the two sides of the mountain there are two very special holy places. One place is Tirupati, very famous place, Balaji. And then on the other side there is another famous place which is known as Ahobilam. Why this place is very special, apart from being very, very beautiful place, because it's like a mountain, forest, very, very beautiful. It's a place where in few places you can find a self-manifested forms of the Lord. Nobody made them, they just found them. Few of them are in caves. One is even in a special cave. Basically you have to go through a water to be able to reach this deity, very special place. So we wanted to go and see these deities, take darshan as they say. So we went there, we were going to these different places, it was amazing experience. They said on the top of the mountain is the place where this special incarnation of God, Narasingha, appeared from the pillar. So we wanted to go there. It took us maybe around 1 hour going up the mountain. It was difficult. At one point a dog joined us. Apparently he was also a pilgrim person. He just joined us, and at some point it became very difficult, really stiff to go. And we were doing hard. There was a special ropes on the side to hold the ropes. And the dog, for him it was very difficult because he cannot hold the ropes. But he was going with us. And at some point he even started making this kind of noise like crying. And we were helping him at some point. And he made it with us all the way up to the pillar. He came there. Then we went on the top. That's the top, by the way. We made it. And we were keeping breakfast with us. We said, okay, now it's the time to eat something. So the moment we decided to eat, other guests appeared. And these were our good friends, the monkeys. They also wanted to have breakfast. So we said, okay, let's be generous. We had like 6-7 chapatis with us. We said, okay, we can spare 1-2 chapatis, no problem. So my friend Pandava, he just took the bag with the chapatis and was keeping it just next to him. And he took 1 chapati and turned to give it to the monkey that wanted the chapati. The moment he did this mistake, the chapatis were gone. It was just like half a second. All the chapatis were gone. So this monkey took the 1 chapati and everything else was gone. And then we were there super tired after climbing for 1 hour without food and nowhere to find food close by. So we said, okay, Krishna's arrangement, we have to fast today, looks like.
Yeah.
So that was it with our breakfast for the day. Anyway, it was nice experience. Now, these pujaris, when they saw our friend, this is Charu Chandra on this picture, American devotee, a very nice. By the way, he has a special world record for driving cars. He likes this extreme experiences, such kind of thing. So, when the pujari saw him, everybody wanted to take a picture with him. Like he became the attraction of the pilgrimage. And we visit a few more of those temples. It was very, very special experience. So I asked one of the pujaris, so how, like, you sleep somewhere here, or how you come here? And he said, oh, no, we come every day. I live in one village, and then from this village I get a bus, and the bus comes to a place maybe 10 kilometers from the mountain, and then I have a bike there, and then I drove the bike for like this, whatever, like 6, 7, 8 kilometers, and then I come to the basis of the mountain, and then I walk like around maybe an hour, and then I come here, and I do my service, my puja, and then I go back. And I asked him, do you have a free day? He said, free day? No free day, this is seva. No free day. And then one of us, because we knew some Sanskrit words, so we said, oh, you mean Nitya Seva? And he said, yes, Nitya Seva, Nitya Seva. It means every day, non-stop. You do it every day. So he was very happy and proud from what he's doing, and he had a reason to be proud. Like, it's a serious austerity every day. Basically, maybe at least half of his day goes in this endeavor. So that was also interesting thing. And now we will visit another temple. Actually, 2 temples. Okay, I'll just say something very short for them. Kurma Kshetra is very, very ancient temple, maybe one of the oldest temples in India, they say. They say the deity there, the form of the Lord there, is, that was written in the temple, I don't know, but it was written that the form of the Lord there is 1 million years old. And there is a special story with Ramanuja Acharya, the first great Acharya that I spoke about. He was in a place close by, close means around 800 kilometers maybe, Jagannath Puri. And because he was a great Acharya and he was meant to establish a certain standards of spiritual life. So he went there and he saw how people are doing everything on this spiritual place, and he thought they're not doing good enough. So he said, I have to improve their standards. So he gave them all these rigid rules and regulations they have to follow. And he told them, otherwise you're not up to the standard. Lord is not happy from your worship. So then, in the evening, he went to sleep. Next morning, when he woke up, he was not in Jagannath Puri anymore. He was in this place, Kurma Kshetra. And then he was like really confused, what's happening? Then the Lord appeared in his dream next day, and he said, I'm very happy how my pujaris are worshipping me in Jagannath Puri. You don't try to make any changes, okay? You want to make some changes? Do something here in this place. And then there is a whole story how he renovated the place and so on and so on. By the way, he was thinking that this is a Shiva Lingam, the Kurma, the deity of Kurma. So he was very upset why the Lord is bringing me to a Shiva temple, not a Krishna temple. And then the Lord appeared in his dream and told him, actually, this is me. So be happy and do something about this temple. Very, very nice place to visit. There was in one place a huge door, and there was a sign, this is a tunnel that our ancestors did, and reaches to Varanasi. Now if someone knows something about India, he knows that Varanasi is in North India and we are in South India. And between these two places there is at least 1,500 kilometers. So I went to this priest and I said, which Varanasi do you mean? Like, do you mean this Varanasi? They said, yes. I said, so you want to say that here there is a tunnel which is like, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers long? And they said, yeah, before it was used. Now we are closing it because there are many wild animals inside and it became dangerous. But before it was used for people to travel. We are like, okay, Hare Krishna. So that was also an interesting thing. That's other also very famous places, Simhachalam temple, close by Vishakhapatnam. Then the next place I will show you is just very interesting architectural place. Is the temple of Adikeshava Pancharatna Prabhu. I'm sure he knows this temple. It's a very special place for us from our tradition, because when Lord Chaitanya went to this place, he spoke with the Brahmanas there and he found a very special book. And this book is called Brahma Samhita. This book was lost, but he managed to find only one chapter of the whole book. They say the book has 100 chapters. We don't have them, they are lost, but we have one of those 100 chapters. The book is translated into English, we have it, you can get it, you can read it, it's an amazing book. It describes many things, describes the universe, the creation of the universe, the spiritual world, material world, so many interesting things. It's an amazing book. So he found this book in this place. Now when I saw this corridor, and I said, that's amazing, I have to make a picture. It's like so many pillars, amazing pillars. And what you see, the ceiling is not just like a small piece of stone or something like that. These were huge stones, maybe each one of them like that big. They were just put next to each other in amazing manner. So that was like something really amazing to see. And again, this is not the real temple. These are huge corridors which circumambulate the temple, because traditionally the pilgrims, they'll make circumambulation of the temple when they go for a pilgrimage. So we really like this place, and to prove you that it's true, I'm not manufacturing, not taking it out of internet or something. It's a real story. We were there, we were walking through this place. Now someone may say, why you are half naked? The tradition in South India is, if you're a man, when you enter the temple, they won't allow you unless you have your shirt off. Because they say in front of God you have to go like this, without any hat, without anything, without your shirt. Now for the ladies it's different, of course. But that's the tradition, so that's why we are in this manner. When we went to this temple, actually there was a huge renovation. Generally in these temples it's very difficult to see the form of the Lord, the deity, and even if you are able to see it, you have to wait at least for 2-3 hours on a big queue. Now in this temple there were nobody, because there was a big renovation. So we asked for the priest, can we see the Lord? And he said, yeah, sure, come. And he brought us in front of the altar, and because he was very busy, he just left us there. And he disappeared. We were staying maybe half an hour there, just looking. And this form of the Lord is very special, is Krishna in the form of Vishnu, the creator of the universe, who is lying in the coastal ocean. So this deity was as big as 8 or 9 meters. Huge deities. And now in any temple they don't allow you to make picture. But since the pujari was not there, and we said, okay, it's not like, hey, we are doing it for the devotees, not for us. So we took a few pictures secretly. But they are not here. But maybe other time I can show. And the last place I will bring you is known as Meokote. Meokote is a very small place. There is also a very beautiful temple, actually two temples there. A temple of Narayana and a temple of Narasimhadev. Let's say something about Meokote. The great personality Ramanujacharya, when he was giving different instructions to his disciples, he gave them like a list with maybe 50, 60 instructions. I want you to do this, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, and all these things are very, very, very important. Then, at some point he said, and if you cannot do any of those things that will make me happy, make me satisfied, I want you to do just one thing. Go to Meokote and live there till the end of your life and practice your spiritual life, and you'll go back to the spiritual world. And he said that this place is not different from Vaikuntha, from the spiritual world. And actually, technically speaking, although generally we know that Ramanujacharya spent the most of his time in Srirangam, which were the headquarters of the Sri Sampradaya, actually, technically he spent the most of his life in this place. He spent around 30 or 40 years in this place, Meokote. So very special place. We have our ISKCON temple there. It's a small house, and in this house lives a very nice family with 2 kids. And in their courtyard there is an altar with Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi. And this is the temple. And we said, so what do you do during the winter? They said, during the winter, there is no winter here. Like in the summer is 32 degrees, and in the winter is 28 degrees. This is the temperature. So really like a perfect climate, everything perfect. So the one of the temples you can see on the top of this hill, and what you see on this picture is very nice lake. This lake, if I remember correctly, the name of this lake was something like Shveta Ganga. Why? Because 11 months in a year, this lake looks the way how you see it now on this picture. But for 1 month, every year, the water of the lake changes and becomes like whitish. And they say that 1 month in a year, Ganga personally comes and presides in this place because it's a very special, sacred place. So many people from the whole area, they go to there to take their bath at that time. Interesting lake. Another interesting thing about this place is that they have a special festival. It goes for maybe 5-6 days every year. During these 5-6 days, whoever comes can, because this is like a village mainly of a Brahmana people, like priests people. So all these people, they cook in their houses, and every pilgrimage can go in any house and enter inside and eat. They basically cook huge amounts of food, of prasadam, and every person can go in every house and just sit down and they'll serve him and he can eat. Very special festival. And the other interesting thing about this festival is that the main deity of Narayana, they bring him out of the temple with his special crown. The deity has a special crown in which there are few hundreds of diamonds on the crown. And because the crown is very, very special, the army personally comes to protect the deity. So the army comes on a special day in the year and they kind of occupy the whole area with their like machine guns and this and that, and only then the deity comes out with the special crown. Everybody can see, can make photos, this, that, and then they bring him back in the temple. So also very special, interesting place. And then now, again we will close our eyes and we will catch our plane and we will go back to Kolkata, and we'll go outside of the airport. Then heat, we'll feel the heat, 110 Fahrenheit at the moment, and we will catch our taxi. Hopefully this time maybe the taxi will have AC, and we will drive 4 or 5 hours, and then we'll reach Mayapur Dham Ki. And these are the special presiding deities of Mayapur, Shri Radha Madhava Ki. So thank you very much for your attention. Would you like to ask something or to share something? Yes.
Some years back in Back to Godhead, they mentioned the bridge that you were talking about with Sri Lanka, that scientists could see it now underwater with special cameras that went.
Yes, there are pictures.
Yeah.
There are pictures and you can see, I mean, physically only looks like half of the bridge is there, but actually from a big distance you can see on the bottom of the ocean actually the bridge continues. It's very interesting. Something else? Yes.
I think it is believed that the bridge is made by Nala and Nil, the son of Vishwakarma. Ram Setu bridge.
What about that?
It was not built by the son of Vishwakarma, Nala and Nil.
I cannot get it. It was built by who?
Bridge, the Ram Setu.
The bridge, yeah?
It was not built by Nal and Nil, the Vanara.
The monkey that was the son of Vishwakarma.
Well, yeah, it was built by them, by the soldiers of Rama. They built it like Hanuman, Angad, Jambavan, all these great warriors.
No, like they have wound that whatever, when they were killed, it is believed that they used to throw everything in the water.
Correct.
Then sage gives him that, okay, now whatever you throw in the water, it is not going to go in the water, it is going to float.
Yes, actually I told the story. Lord Rama said, if you write my name on the stones, they will not go down. They will stay on the surface of the water. So that's how they built this bridge. I was telling this story. It's in Ramayana. You can read Ramayana. Have you read? Yes? Mahabharata?
I have seen the Mahabharata but haven't read it.
Bhagavad Gita?
Trying.
Okay. So you have something to do. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. Now we can finish with our presentation and we can make a little bit more kirtan, maybe perhaps 10 minutes. So if you like, we can stand up and we will dance a little bit. Okay, so just to increase your appetite for the dinner, so the most brave one can come closer. We are vegetarian, we are not eating people. Okay, so we are going to sing this mantra and we are going to dance at the same time. So let's try the mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Okay, now we are going to move for a little. Ready? Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You are.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, now little more complicated. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
From your trip. We have
If you're not
So
hungry, we
much
can
flying. So many taxis.
I was a little cold before.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
For coming and having fun together. So we are trying to develop not only